Well, I mean, it's a little like how the opening track to Sergeant Pepper isn't the best song on the album, but it fits and it works really well. Then you go on to, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, Within You, Without You, When I'm 64. Then the real magnum opus is the finale, A Day in the Life. And I think Rian Johnson's trilogy will be the High Republic's A Day in the Life, and the opening of Sergeant Pepper is Light of the Jedi.
The what? Oh, yeah, what is this? What in the heck are you talking about? Like, Light of the Jedi? How have I not heard anything about this?
That's what I'm getting to. So, Light of the Jedi was written by Charles Soule, who was co-collaborator on the High Republic era, along with Claudia Gray, Cavan Scott, Justina Ireland, Daniel Jose Older. He's been a regular name in the Star Wars comic world for quite a while now. Light of the Jedi is one of his first, if not his first novel. And it's great fun, very fast and nimble and mercurial. It's clear Soule came from the comic world because his set pieces really feel like they're done in frames. There are few, if any, long-winded transitions between segments. Things move so fast at times that there really isn't much time to stop and think about what just happened. Light of the Jedi takes place 200 years before Phantom Menace, which is something like 2.5 Skywalker sagas before that. Something called the Great Disaster is consuming more and more portions of space, and there's a Dunkirk rescue occurring, and a new enemy to the Republic is emerging called the Nihil. The Nihil are marauders. Think of the Ravagers from Guardians of the Galaxy. They will board a ship, gas the crew, then steal the cargo, leaving no one alive. Their leader, Marcian Rowe, who is the real star of the novel, is a bit of a strategist who has a keen eye for exploiting any disaster and making it work for him. I say a bit because he doesn't have the hypervigilance of Thrawn or the semi-omniscience of Palpatine or Snoke. But like Thrawn, he has this real kind of Sun Tzu mindset, knowing yourself, knowing your enemy, knowing the so-and-so. And he sees the other Nihil as a threat to him, similar to, the Republic. And so it's hard to read a novel like Light of the Jedi with antagonists called the Nihil without watching for themes about nihilism. Simple references being the Nihil live in no space. Their home base dome makes them see only the blackness of space, or their motto, you can't take it with you, but we can take it from you. More broadly, the opening sequences repeatedly hit home that this is a story about confronting death and peril. We're not just looking into the abyss, but we're leaping into it. The Great Disaster feels like an analog to the nothing in the never-ending story. Choices feel very solipsistic in deliberation, yet consequential in execution. For example, one character says he has decided that many years ago, so-and-so killed his father. Thus, he will make this paradigm-shifting decision accordingly, but in the same breath says it could just as well have been someone else who did the thing. And he'll cross that bridge when he comes to it. And there's a repeated action of a threat not really being eradicated or beaten, but rather diverted to then go somewhere else. But almost no one really sees it that way. They see it as a victory. Out of sight, out of mind, so to speak. Kind of like the end of Tatooine Rhapsody, when one thinks about what is really happening or what happens after, suddenly we're not necessarily celebrating with the band. Another one, kind of along these lines, the Coen brothers did something similar at the end of Intolerable Cruelty, where we just want to yell at the screen, how do you know you finally got it right this time? And they kind of did a spin on it, True Grit, just sort of reversed it, but they do that kind of stuff a lot. And and I heard this excerpt of the audiobook that has this voice actor who portrays Marcian Rowe's voice. And it's as though Werner Herzog had a baby with Marlon Brando. And I'm sure that's intentional. Yeah, check it out. And there's this moment that's supposed to be celebratory and has a strange hollowness because the reader has knowledge of a very big, very weighty thing or things that are a little asynchronous to the character's knowledge, but not terribly commensurate to the ceremony that's occurring. But again, that goes right back to the nihilistic thematic elements. And, and the parts that didn't really work for me are also the parts that's kind of its whole thing. Again, like the ceremony. And I may feel differently the second time around. And if I'm right as to where the story's going, a certain villain and another person, an ally to the Republic, are both unknowingly creating kind of weapons that will become the very things that will destroy them. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but I'm sure something like that is there. So, I mean, in all, I really enjoyed it.